like -15 apparently, and we're going to be working on the Jetta with Mark today. Here it is, full of snow. It hasn't moved since last week when we buffed it and polished it and did some of the stuff on it. Today we are doing the head gasket and a whole bunch of other things on this car. So I will start it up, let it heat up, and make my way there. Hopefully I'll make it. This car runs actually quite well. I'm quite surprised at it. Hope Mark's not going to hear this, but yeah, Volkswagen. Never been a fan of Volkswagens, but for a cheap car, an inexpensive car, it actually runs quite well. Aside from the fact that the brakes are vibrating, but aside from that, everything runs quite well. Anyways, today's video will be about changing the head gasket on a 2007 Volkswagen Golf City, which is a 2-liter, 16 valves, I believe. 16 or 20 valves, I don't remember. Good question. Anyways, 2007 Volkswagen Golf City, changing the head gasket, which comes with quite a lot of things that need to be purchased. Different from the Honda that I did. On the Honda, you could remove the intake manifold with the head and all of that. On the Golf, it appears that you need to remove the intake manifold from the head. You need to remove a whole bunch of things to access the head, meaning that you need some additional gaskets and also head bolts. Compared to my Honda, when I did it, the Honda didn't require for me to get some new head bolts. On the Golf, they do recommend that the head bolts are changed every time you do the head gasket. I guess that they stretch, so we purchased some bolts, head bolts, head studs. We purchased some gaskets, and also we purchased some special tools that I'll show you guys a bit later. We're going to be doing an unboxing video of all the parts that we received. So we're going to show you what we're going to be putting on the car today. But the main purpose of the video will be to tear the engine apart, tear the head apart to do the head gasket on this guy. So while we do the head gasket, we're going to look at other things to see if there's anything that needs to be done. The reason why we noticed that the head gasket was due to be changed was because it's burning coolant, and the coolant is not leaking under the car. When you look at the exhaust and you give it some acceleration, you're going to see that there's some white smoke that actually does smell like burnt Prestone, burnt coolant. So that's how we figured out that the head gasket needs to be changed. The water pump was changed. The timing was done on this car. The radiator hoses and the radiator was also changed not too long ago. So the only thing left to be done, to be honest, the head gasket, and the rest of it's going to be absolutely fine. So I'm heading over to Mark's place, and we're going to be jacking up this car and getting started. So see you in a bit. So this is funny, not funny. As I am driving to Mark's place, which is about, I'd say, 25 kilometers away from my house, I'm on the highway and the car starts overheating just slightly. So it's playing around like 90 degrees as it is. Celsius, but it peaked to like 115. So as soon as I saw the needle go up, I pulled aside, and as I was about to turn off the engine, the needle went back down right away. So it seems like there was just a little, I guess, remainder of coolant that passed through that was unburned, that maybe just, I don't know, Maybe it's just the fact that it's like -10, -15 degrees outside that it's currently helping, because I really doubt that there's any coolant that is left there. Checking the temperature, because it's quite dangerous if ever I'm running it while it's overheating. You don't want to run the engine while it's overheating, even though you know that you're going to be changing the head gasket. The problem is that the head can actually warp. So if the head warps because of the heat, well, changing the head gasket's not going to do shit. You're going to have to get a brand new head. So that's why I'm careful with it. The other symptom that I noticed that started arising more and more is actually the fact that the heat reduced. So no more heat in a car, because, well, there is slightly a bit of heat in the car now, just because the coolant is what creates the heating in the car. So I guess there was no more coolant, so that's why the car stopped heating. Ooh, cool. cold.
Yeah.
We are inside the garage, the magic garage.
Magic garage. Ooh.
So, want to hear a funny one?
What's that?
On the way here, the car started overheating.
Yeah.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
For a slight second.
Yeah.
Drop right back down.
Okay. So thermostat opened.
Yeah, and heat is gone. So there's probably already no coolant at all.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
So had you emptied it and...
I didn't empty the coolant. No, not the coolant.
Okay.
No, I just did the oil. Before we get started, we'll probably do a bit of unboxing because we have a whole bunch of crap that we got for the car. And we're going to open it up and make sure that we have all the parts we need. Right, Mark?
Correct.
All the parts
That's the
we
plan.
need. We don't know what we need, but we know we need a head gasket. We know we need some head studs. We know that we need a intake manifold gasket, a exhaust gasket.
Right.
What is this? The most important thing, the wipe. Oh, did I order? I'm so stupid.
What did you do? You ordered plugs and you bought more plugs.
Yeah.
Well,
so I'll return the other ones.
Yeah.
So we got some plugs, and we have a gift from Mark.
Hey!
Did you keep all of those, right?
Score. Actually, we'll make it a gift for my dad since he lets us.
Oh yeah.
Use his garage. Yeah.
There you go. So we have the plugs. We have a wiper. Only one wiper. There should be a few. Why is there only one wiper though?
The other box.
The other box, maybe. Okay. This.
Look for multiple of those.
Got
Magnets,
tools?
they tend to throw a few.
What?
The magnets. You might have more
I don't
in the
know
boxes.
if there's, yeah. Next box. This is probably a head gasket. Oh yeah. So there we go. So next thing that we are unboxing is this, which I assume is the gaskets, I'm sure. Oh, another one. Mark,
Hey,
look at this.
what?
A different one.
Hey, nice.
Oh, gasket 1, gasket 2, and that's it. No head gaskets yet. So this is the valve cover gasket. Looks like it. This is the intake manifold gasket. Yeah. And these will be
More toys.
Woo. Oh, this is the exhaust gasket.
Yeah.
Looks like one. And we have a head gasket. Holy crap, it's tiny.
It's shorter than on your Prelude, that's for sure.
See, it even says change, stop, caution.
Change the bolts.
The bolts. And what do we got? We got bolts.
We got bolts. Which bolts is it? With the special tool or the triple squares?
I don't
or
know.
do we know?
Let's open it up. And we have the most important thing.
Wipers. Okay, so that one wiper was your rear.
Hey, I said we're gonna make this car spotless.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
almost.
A1.2.
Technically, the only thing missing on it will probably be the windshield,
Yes, yeah, that's true.
if ever. So these are the brake pads.
Yeah.
Brake pads, don't need them right now. And this. So we have that. Let's open this. I think that we have to soak them in advance.
In
Oil.
really?
Yeah,
That's a little bit messed up.
I think so.
I would think that would have an impact on the torque. So they're triple squares. See, good thing I told you to buy those. Yeah, that's not it. That'll be
Oh, that's
the
for
ones that are already on there.
Yep.
And these are just the triple squares. That's kind of dumb, though, right? When you think about it, you're going to replace them, which means you already have the tool
Yep.
to take them out. So you're going to have the tool to put them back in. theory, right?
Yeah, but
It
it's
is where it is.
Volkswagen.
I'd still prefer the triple square, to be perfectly honest, instead of the Volkswagen proprietary tool. Tiny bit of play.
Yeah, but I think this is it. M9? Because M10... Oh no, it's M10.
Yeah. Tight fit too, eh? I mean, I guess you have to be precise with the triple squares. That's perfect. Now let's just hope that the head of the socket itself is not too big to get in there. It shouldn't be, but we shall see.
To make sure. So we technically have all we need, so that's good. So we can get started. Now that we
Yes,
confirm
yes.
we have.
There's one thing I hadn't thought of. And we'll see the condition of the gasket. But we're not removing the entire manifold, right? The manifold is going to come with the head. So we are removing it at the collector. Probably
So
that triangle, or so I'm thinking might be missing a gasket.
You mean the exhaust manifold gasket?
The exhaust collector gasket. So where the exhaust meets the headers,
Yeah.
you've got the one that goes header to the head.
Yeah.
So that's fine. But I think we're actually unbolting before that. I wouldn't want to remove the, I don't know, like 7 bolts or 8 bolts it is while it's still on the car.
If we're able to pull it out that way, right?
Yes, yeah, assembled.
Yeah.
You're
So I think that
absolutely
we
right.
are able to remove the. I think that we are able to remove it. So
So
it
there's
would
one
be
thing we're doing underneath.
under the. It would be at the back there that we would have to unbolt and
like
keep.
the 2 or 3 bolts underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, and then just the oxygen sensor. I saw that there's like a plastic cover underneath on this side where the 2 oxygen sensors connect. We're gonna have to disconnect it, pull the cable up, so that we can remove.
Oh yes, yeah, I saw
the
that too.
headers here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The O2 sensor is staying on it, but it has to be on the electrical has to be unclipped so you can pull it out. Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay, so we will get started with
Crap tons of hoses.
yeah, exactly. Some of the basics. So we'll unplug the battery to make sure we have no power to the engine. We will be removing probably the air intake, which is going to leave a whole bunch of space.
Secondary air injection.
Yeah,
Why
exactly.
isn't it, it's not bolted on there.
No,
It's
it unclipped somehow, so we can probably put this back on later on.
well, it's just an electrical connector here, as far as I can tell. There's nothing else on there.
Yeah, so this is gonna go. This is gonna go. The engine has cooled down, so we should be good with removing the coolant hoses as well. And yeah, that's where the fun begins.
Okay, so progress report. Batteries unplugged. As you can see, the intake manifolds on top here. Disconnected the air box, which was underneath here. It wasn't that hard to get the manifold, the intake manifold off. Bolts were barely torqued. I'm going to say about 10 pounds, if that. We'll check the torque spec when we put it back on.
I'd be surprised if that was it, but it's possible, right?
It is possible. It doesn't have to be super tight. It doesn't get extremely hot either. Or because of the heat, it's slacked off, but either way. So what we've done is we've disconnected the connector for the fuel rail here, removed the fuel line from the rail, which is somewhere up here. We put a bolt in it so that it doesn't leak fuel everywhere. We were going to remove the injectors, but then we thought, what's the point really? It's going to come up with the head all in one piece. So Mike was trying to remove the back cover here. screen went off. Is that normal?
What's that?
Screen goes off. Is that normal?
Yeah.
Okay, so it does turn off on its own.
After a while.
Okay. So he's going to remove that cover right here, but there's, in my opinion, no point. I think I see what bolt you were talking about. I see one over here. Down here.
Okay, so I just lost...
You lost a bolt?
Yeah. Did it clip on it? I feel like it stole it from me, but... Where the fuck is it? Not a bolt, but the Allen key...
Oh, like the socket
right
itself?
there.
It's probably on the bolt. It is too.
My.
Either way, I don't think we need to remove this cover at all. We'll remove the connector for the oxygen sensor that's over here, which is down there underneath the car. So we're going to jack it up, take off the bolts to the collector at the back here, see what condition the gasket is like, because we don't have that gasket. If it's bad, we might need to run and pick one up. However, it is a 2-point slow, so it should be easy enough to find.
Hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
It's not the same thing like a Prelude, right?
No, not exactly. So, yeah. Good progress. I mean, this has been, what, half an hour's work?
Yeah.
If that. So we're also 4 hands at it. But we also found that here, where the rag is where the dipstick should go. And unfortunately, the dipstick was broken. So I'm not sure. We might be able to find one, at either
Canadian
Tire or Kenny Upo, yeah.
Worst case, we'll put some
hard.
epoxy on it.
We can put some epoxy and just glue it back together.
If there's none.
If we can't find a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, good progress. Still can't believe secondary air injection pump was not even connected. I told him, I said, it ran rough when you started it, eh? He's like, yeah, it was really rough. It's because it wasn't pushing any air through.
Mark is working hard. He's the operator.
And I push buttons.
He pushes buttons all day.
That's what I do. It's my thing.
So we're lifting up the car so that we can access the O2 sensor, which is somewhere underneath. And what's that?
I'm gonna stop. I'll take the light off.
Oh. So yeah, we're gonna be underneath so that we can remove the O2 sensor and so that we can also remove the exhaust. Once those two things are done, we should be able to put it back down and remove the head with part of the exhaust. Mark already notched the timing on the current belt. We will be removing the spark plugs and probably putting it back to timing before we touch anything. And yeah, this is underneath the car. It's not too bad actually. It looks wow. Yeah, I'm quite impressed.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Looks really good. Good job, Mark.
Thank you.
Yeah, so the other thing that we have right now is we have the exhaust that we're removing from the back there underneath the car. It's quite easy access from here. If ever you don't have a jack, I'm sure that you have space to do it from the top, but you're not going to see what you're doing. So there's 4 bolts and there's a gasket. Good job, Mark just snapped one. So we're going to have to drill it out or tap it out or do something. We'll figure it out. But that's as easy as that, yeah. We just managed to remove the valve cover gasket and we have tons of white stuff in there. This doesn't look actually too bad, but I'll show you guys what the valve cover gasket looks like. It's horrible. It is coolant that's mixed up with oil. This is what the valve cover gasket looks like. It's not good. This definitely does mean that the head gasket or something is leaking inside, so we'll find out. Hopefully within the next hour or two we'll have the head off and we'll be able to know. We found a problem. We found the problem. The head gasket is blown. We knew. So this is it. We pulled it out. We pulled the head out, which is, the head is right here, with all of the wires, all of the connectors. Everything looks in a decent shape actually for an 07, and all of this will need to be all cleaned up and all polished to remove all of the crap. This needs to be all prettied up. It has to be flush.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's going to leak regardless, so we need to fix all of that up. It's going to be pretty easy to do. We will be changing the spark plugs while we have it out. We also have this gasket that we're probably going to have to go get. So a new exhaust gasket that comes at the back here. And this is the block once the head is removed. So as you can see, cylinder, what is this?
I don't know if
Four?
that's four
Or one, or maybe.
Yeah, you can see around here that there's no more seal. So this thing's been hot.
Yeah. So it probably overheated. Let's hope that the head is not warped or anything like that. It didn't look warped.
It doesn't look
but again, we might want to check with the tape to see if it actually fits. Yeah, let's try to remove that, Mark. See what it looks like. Okay. So, what was I gonna say? So we removed the old head studs, and you need to buy new head studs every time you do a head gasket, apparently. So here are the new head studs, the bolts.
Wait, show the head.
The head.
So you need the special tool for this. You have to order them. Now, if you're gonna order, when you order new bolts, keep in mind that the heads are different and they are triple square. Triple square meaning 12-point sockets that you have here. So if you look at those, just pull one out to show you. See, it's got 12 points all around, like so. And these bolts are triple square. So that's why I told them get the sockets for triple square, because the heads, we can see it on the picture, it didn't look like these guys. So that's why we got those sockets and brand new bolts, because the bolts will stretch and you're not supposed to put those back onto the block.
So next step will be let's remove the coolant from there, let's make it all pretty, let's make it all flush. We'll try to grind it, well, not grind it, we'll try to polish it. Same thing for the head.
Need an exhaust gasket.
Yeah, exhaust gasket, we're going to do that. Grab some lunch maybe at the same time.
Exhaust studs, because we didn't snap one. And they are studs. I checked.
So choosers are going to be able to tap it out and tap a new one in. The other thing to keep in mind is that we tried not to play with the timing. So the crank at the bottom should not have moved. So what we did is that we put a mark here and we put another mark on the cam gear, and we tied it down.
The actual mark on the sprocket for the cam.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's where we mark the belt to make sure
we're
realigning it to that right mark.
So on the mark of the factory mark is matched to this manual mark that we did.
So anyways, there's no piston right now that's at the top position, which means that there was really there's only two valves that look like they have pressure on them from the springs, but otherwise we're clear to put this back on. If we can put the head back on with the cam in the right position, we should be okay. We'll rotate it a couple times without actually turning the engine. Make sure that it's turning freely, and I guess we'll go from there.
Okay, cool. So
definitely got coolant in there.
Yeah, definitely this one. Okay, perfect. So next thing is, again, let's clean everything up and on to the time lapse. Okay, we are back from lunch.
Yes, sir. Quite stuffed, thank you.
And we have beer, and we have stuff that we went. Oh, there it is. So step drill. We needed that and a few other things to, first of all, fix what Mark broke here. So yeah. So one of the studs actually cracked because it was so rusted that when we were pulling it off, it just snapped. So we're going to be replacing that with a new bolt. We will be continuing this, polishing some of this, sanding it down to make sure that it's completely flush. We have done a lot of work here on the pistons. So the pistons are completely cleaned. We just need to clean some of this off before putting the head gasket back on. And once that is done, we'll drink a beer, and then I don't know. Then we'll probably drink another one, and you know, and we'll get somewhere with this. But anyways, I think that we are probably, I'd say, 4 hours into this approximately.
Two of which
was
cleaning and
So yeah, we probably have an hour worth of cleaning the head and the block and the pistons. We have another probably hour trying to play around with that. That didn't go too well. Then we have another hour where we spent trying to figure out the O2 sensor, which we were not able to remove. So we ended up just going under the car and unplugging it. So anyways, yeah, so lots of wasted time, but hey, we're learning.
It's got to be done.
It's got to be done. It's got to be done.
Got to be done, and this thing is driving out on its own power tonight. Harsh prediction.
There you go. Got it. Okay, so while Mark is still breaking the exhaust manifold there, I just finished cleaning the pistons, the piston walls, the top of the engine block with some Scotch Guard and some very thin sanding paper. Tons of lube on there, some seafoam to make it all shiny. Put the new head gasket on. We are also in the midst of cleaning this, making sure that there is no imperfection, making sure that it's all sanded down properly, that it's all clean, and then finishing up one of the bolts here, and we will be putting the head back on, hopefully with sliding the timing belt onto the gear.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a trick.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a trick. But technically with the angle, if we come in with an angle so that technically the cam is a bit lower than it should be, the belt should slip on a lot easier than trying to get it off while the block is, or the head is actually flush.
One of the problems I see is, like, if ever we want to come down on an angle, this is going to be in... Oh, actually, it's not. Okay, never mind. I was going to say it's going to be in the way.
That we had to unbolt from the...
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's too big an issue.
Okay.
Your cam is technically back here.
Yeah. Okay. New gasket looks definitely so much better compared to the old one. The head looks so much better compared to what it was. Everything looks so much better. So I think we're onto it. I think that we're making good progress.
Yeah. You're doing good.
So we put the head back on with the timing belt. I'll show you guys as soon as we put the car down. I will show you the trick that we used. Very, very effective, to be honest. I am extremely shocked that whatever we did worked. Right, Mark?
Yeah, it worked great. I love it.
So we'll be showing you guys that in a second once we drop the car, but I wanted to show you what we're currently doing. So Mark is working on reattaching up there the exhaust to the exhaust manifold that came out with the head is attaching to the kind of down pipe, I would say, with the flex pipe. So he's currently reattaching that, putting on the gasket with some gasket maker, and also rerunning the O2 sensor. So the wire behind it, there's the O2 sensor right there that's running under the car, that's going into the O2 sensor box, relay box, or whatever you call it, because there's two O2 sensor connecting to one wire there. So we're going to be reattaching that back on and tightening these bolts. And as soon as these bolts are tightened up, we're going to be dropping the car and, I guess, working on the head and all of the other wires.
Yeah, we'll put the rest of the bolts in, we'll torque them down, clean that valve cover. That's still full of milk. True.
Yes, yeah, that was horrible, absolutely.
Yeah. And then look up the torque specs for the bolts, because I know there's like a specific pattern you're supposed to follow when you torque.
Yeah.
And then you're supposed to torque, I think it's like 20 pounds in that order, and then 40 pounds in that order, and I think the last is 60 pounds. Don't quote me on it, I'm not 100% sure, so I'll have to look it up. But I think that sounds about right. Just seeing by the torque that the head bolts were set to, didn't seem that hard to take off. I mean, you didn't.
Compared to the Honda, definitely was not even close.
That's it. So, yeah, good progress. I'm happy.
Cool, awesome. We're back. So we have the head back on with timing that is on. The timing belt is here. The tensioner is not tight yet. We will be doing some of that. Now we are putting the new head bolts, the head studs back on. These are the old ones, and this is to show you guys the difference. This is the old tool that was to remove the old head studs. And the new head studs for the exact same engine is one of these guys. Completely different. Triple square, yeah. So
fancy name.
This is what we're doing. On the bolts, you need to put some grease. Luckily, this kit did come with some grease. I think that if there's no grease, what people do is they actually dip them in oil before putting them back on the head. And yeah, so now we need the sequence, which Mark was saying was, I believe, bolt 1, 2, 3. And Mark, correct me.
So let's see, the two center ones, the one at the front.
So 1, 2.
That's right. And then 3 is down here.
4.
4 is across.
5.
6 is up here. 7 is this corner. 8 is this
8,
corner.
9, 10. And this the torque spec is
first torque is 30 foot-pounds in that sequence. Then it's 43 pounds in that same sequence, and then same sequence again, but half turn. So it's not even a foot pound. It's given another half turn. They say alternatively, you can do it in 2 steps of a quarter turn.
Okay.
Probably safer that way. Make sure you have even distribution over the bolts onto the gasket.
So we'll give that a shot.
Sounds good.
So we're torquing down the head, and we did the sequence of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the proper sequence, and then we have to do it 3 times basically. Once was 23 foot-pounds, I believe. 20. What was the first round?
30.
So 30 foot-pounds, then 43. And then it says, the manufacturer says that we need to do half a turn for each bolt again in sequence. I did a quarter of a turn, and it was quite hard. So we want to test actually what the foot-pound comes down to. And the foot-pound that it's going to show is not even up to spec. It's below spec still. So we're quite quite curious.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, that's okay. That's what I had it set at the
38, 50, 50.
Yeah, but he's not turning. Oh, he was starting.
I was starting to.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So 50
That's not
foot-pound?
so bad.
That's not too bad.
No.
So we can go another quarter turn, Mark?
Oh, I don't know. Do you want to spend the whole evening here in case you snap a bolt?
What if it leaks?
What if it doesn't?
So we'll do another close to quarter turn.
Okay.
Just not like a full quarter turn, just
I feel
that's
like it's
good.
gonna snap.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. It can't snap at 50 foot-pound, Mark.
You're stretching the bolt. Anything that stretches gets hot and is brittle.
Yeah, we left it cool down. So just a there you go, it's good. Be a man.
This way.
This
This way
one?
from center, yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't fucking like it.
Yeah, across there.
So we'll be up to spec if we make it there. Why are you so red?
Because I'm fucking nervous.
The entire block is moving when you do that.
Yeah, thanks. That does not help my confidence.
Oh yeah, it is moving.
Come on, sit in there.
You break it, you buy it. You like Volkswagen, so
I'll buy it for what you paid for.
paid $3,000 for this.
So it'd be more like a quarter and an eighth.
There you go.
Perfect. So the head is torqued down, and now we will be probably, I'd say, cleaning the valve cover.
Yeah, you
It's
can
gross.
you can start that. I'll reassemble what I know goes where, kind of thing. Have to do spark plugs.
Spark
as well.
plugs, yeah, that's true. Okay.
We'll have to go underneath. We need to tighten the exhaust. We need to plug in the oxygen sensor, put the cover back on, flush the oil, drain
Flush
out
the
the coolant.
Yeah,
It's a lot of things, but they're simple things.
simple things. Now it's definitely the hard part is done. We need to also clean up the throttle body. What? Yeah, we need to tighten. So we'll do the tensioner now because we might forget.
Yes, let's
Okay.
not.
Sorry, got caught up with time and didn't film too much, but we drained the coolant from the car. There wasn't too much coolant left. What we did is we unplugged the hose down here. We changed the filter. We changed the oil. Well, we didn't change it. We drained everything. We're going to be pouring some new one into it. So that was all done. Next step is we have some brand new vented, slotted, and drilled brakes with some brand new pads and the sensors. We are currently removing, this is the front passenger side. I'm almost done reassembling there. Gonna be doing the rears. We have all of the parts, so this is what we're currently up to. Not necessarily part of the timing belt job, but it's part of maintenance. Quite important, I would say. Quality of brakes, I think that the new owner is going to be quite happy with it, so let's keep it up. Okay, so we are kind of exhausted. It's late. The front brakes are completely done. I forgot to film, but as you can see through the cracks, it has the slotted, vented, and drilled brakes with some brand new pads on both sides. They are good to go, hopefully. Well, they should be good to go. As you can see, this is the old one that will be requiring to be changed, and Mark is working on this one. So to show you guys what we purchased, and this is the fancy brakes. Very nice brakes. Cross drilled, yeah, with some brand new pads that we're setting up. We're greasing everything up, making it good. So we should probably be done shortly. I will film the other side in a bit. Beer. Almost there. Mixing up some of the coolant before we pour it in. So we're done, we think.
We are
We did-
assembled.
Yeah, we did everything
Whether we're
possible
done or
without
not.
even starting it.
Whether we're done or not is another thing.
Yeah.
So now we've filled the bubble over full. We need to circulate some coolant, let some of the air through. Like my dad said, heat on high, fans on low. And yeah, we'll massage some of these hoses to try and get the air bubbles out as much as possible. But more importantly, will it run? That is the question. We turned the engine over a couple times just by hand by turning the crank, and it seemed to be okay. There was no odd resistance there. It was just compression. So I think we're there. You want me to hold that? Let me hold that for you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to catch the action shot if it blows up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move back tiny little bit. In case, prime it a couple times. Get the fuel up. Clutch in and get out of gear maybe. Parking brake. Pump the brake a couple times because the pistons are still out. Till it gets hot, yeah, or hard. Ooh. Nice. Is that a happy face? That's an unsure face? Hey, there he is.
Runs like butter.
turned over pretty well.
Wow.
Burning off some of your oil shit.
Well, there's going to be tons of that.
Yeah.
Look at this. So, if we look at it, we started at around, by the time we figured the remote that you hid in your pocket, we started probably around 11?
Something like that.
10:30.
10:30. Let's call it 10:30.
And we have to take an hour to go for lunch and Canadian Tire.
Yep.
So we started at 11:30. It is 10:30.
10. Not quite 10:30. 10 o'clock. Call it 10 o'clock.
So it's a, let's say, 10-hour job for us
With
to
on
do
and
the
off.
brakes,
Yeah.
the filter, the coolant, the head gasket, all of it.
Yeah.
Which is ultimately not too bad. Without the brakes, because we spent approximately, say, an hour and a half on the brakes, 2 hours maybe, to get the tires done and all that.
Yeah, something like that.
7 hours to do the head gasket.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Sounds quite well, right?
Sounds all right. Sounds like a Vokes. That's a fan that just kicked in. Secondary air injection.
Turbo. That's what we call it.
Huh?
Little whining? Is that what you heard? Little
It's
whining?
little whining from the pump, yeah. Not unusual. Want to give it a couple shots of gas just to circulate? Did you put the heat on?
Look good in there. I'll sell it for you for cheap.
Too low, too low. You can see the coolant is slowly dropping. So when the car started, it was up here. It's going down here.
For some reason, I thought that you have to leave it open though.
No. I mean, I can open it. You want to hold this?
Well, wait, like before it gets warm, right? Is that a sec? What's that?
Not even close.
Yeah, he's just gonna open up the coolant. Put a rug on it so that it doesn't blow up. Put a rug, just in case. You never know.
Yeah, but I think it's building up pressure.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Don't.
For a vacuum, I suppose we should call it in this case.
Keep pressure on it so it doesn't blow up.
We're off.
And
Got
all
some
of this
overflow.
is tons of grease that's actually. Oh, it's good. Tons of grease that is burning off, so.
Slowly creeping up.
Good. That's awesome.
Gonna let it run till the fans start.
Have to, yeah. Actually, you
The
don't have
thermostat has to open.
Yep, to let the coolant
through.
flush, yeah. So folks, we are probably done for today. We have added some coolant and we will take it for a spin to make sure that the coolant doesn't drop too much. Get rid of the air bubble. We checked the oil to make sure that the oil is at the proper level as well. We added some Lucas oil stabilizer with a brand new filter, brand new oil. We ran the engine over. It's getting heat. It's not knocking. Everything's running quite well. So this is it for the video. Last thing that we're going to be playing around for tonight is Mark got a new gadget.
OBD11, which is for Volkswagens, Audis, Skodas, forget what other makes, but
Porsche, maybe? No?
yeah, essentially is it's a little device that connects Bluetooth to your phone. You install an application, and then you have access essentially like a VAGCOM. Not exactly like a VAGCOM. If you get the Pro kit, then you can access long coding and modify specific settings. Otherwise, there's a bunch of what they call applications, which are essentially one-touch adjustments for, let's say, headlights for coming home or leaving home. So when you unlock the car, the lights come on. We want to set up the windows via the fob, so that when you press and hold the lock button, all the windows will come up, and same thing with unlock, they'll come down. So yeah, we're just running the update now. It's the first time I use it, so I need to set this up, and then we'll be good to go.
Cool. So next video will probably be around that. Probably if the car isn't sold soon, hopefully we might be able to play around with it, maybe even do a video about it, and see what options are available. I guess that the options are available depending on the car that you have, depending on the year, you have different options. So anyways, I think that's it. I think that we covered most of it. We're going to be adding some of the time lapse in the middle. So I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and we will see you in the next one, right?
Next project. Next project.
Thumbs up. Thanks very much, folks.
Later.
Thanks for watching.